Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
You must be a new freshman.
Yeah, my name's Roger.
Well, nice to meet you, Roger.
Good to see you.
So you got your class scheduled there?
I
Are you
do.
all set?
I think so. I was one of the 4 that got registered yesterday. I'm just a little confused. See, the schedule they gave me has all my classes on it, but none of the teachers.
Huh.
Yeah, would you happen to know all the teachers'
Oh,
names?
sure.
Sweet. We'll just start at the top then. Who's teaching speech?
Yes.
Oh no, I mean like the teacher's name.
Who?
The speech teacher.
Who?
The guy teaching speech.
Who?
The man that teaches speech.
Who teaches speech?
What are you asking me for?
I'm telling you. Who teaches speech?
You haven't told me a thing. I'm asking you who's teaching speech.
Well, that's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy teaching speech.
Who?
The speech teacher.
Who teaches a speech?
You got a contract with a speech teacher?
Well, of course.
Who signs the contract?
Well, sure he does.
No, like when you pay him every 2 weeks. Who gets the money?
Well, of course, every dollar. He's entitled to it. Why not?
Who is?
Well, yes. I mean, sometimes his wife comes and picks up the check.
Whose wife?
Yes.
Never mind. Okay, I want to know what's the all I'm trying to figure out is what's the speech teacher's name.
No. Don't go mixing them around. What teaches personal evangelism?
I'm not asking you who teaches personal evangelism.
No, who teaches speech?
I don't know.
Oh, no, he teaches life of Christ.
Life of Christ? How in the world did I get to Life of Christ?
Well, you mentioned the teacher's name.
Oh, really? Well, if I mentioned the teacher's name, who did I say was teaching Life of Christ?
No, who teaches speech?
Never mind speech. Okay, I want to know what's the Life of Christ teacher's name now.
What teaches personal evangelism?
I'm not asking you who's teaching personal evangelism.
Who teaches speech?
I don't know.
He teaches life of Christ.
Back to Life of Christ. Will you stay in Life of Christ, please?
All right.
Don't go to any other subjects.
Okay.
Just Life of Christ.
Life of Christ.
Got it?
All right. What is it that you wanted to know?
I want to know who's teaching Life of Christ.
Now, why do you keep insisting on putting who in life of Christ?
Who? Who am I putting in that class? Who?
Yes, but we don't want him to teach that class. He's not qualified.
All I'm trying to figure out is what's the Life of Christ teacher's name?
What is teaching personal evangelism?
I'm not asking you who's teaching personal evangelism.
Who is teaching speech?
I don't know. Life of Christ. You got any other teachers?
Well, of course.
The Old Testament survey teacher's name.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought I'd ask.
I just thought I'd tell you.
Well, then go ahead. Who's teaching Old Testament survey?
No, who is teaching speech?
Stay out of speech. I want to know what's the Old Testament survey teacher's name?
What is teaching personal evangelism?
For the last time, I'm not asking you who's teaching personal evangelism.
Who is teaching speech?
I don't know. Life of Christ. The Old Testament survey's teacher's name is?
Why?
Because.
Oh, now he teaches Greek.
I'm not even taking Greek. I'm not taking Greek. You got to have a cook, right?
Well, of course. What kind of a school would we be without a cook?
A terrible one. Now, what's the cook's name?
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me today?
I'm telling you now.
Then go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow are you going to tell me who's cooking?
Now listen. Who is not cooking? Who is teaching
I'll break your neck if you say who's teaching speech. Now I want to know what's the cook's name right now.
What is teaching personal
I
evangelism?
don't know.
Life of Christ.
You got a janitor?
Well, of course we have a janitor.
The janitor's name.
Today.
Today. And tomorrow's the cook.
Now you got it.
Well, ain't that just dandy? All we got is a couple of days on the staff.
Well, I can't help that.
Well, I'm a freshman.
I knew that.
And suppose I'm in speech class, right?
All right.
And the speech teacher, whoever it may be, assigns one of them projects.
All right.
And so I go up into the computer lab, and I type that project out. I mean, I go over it with a fine-tooth comb. I'm doing it just like the syllabus says. I get it word perfect, just the right amount of words, in a nice folder with the flaps and everything,
Sure.
right?
Right, good.
And on the day that it's due, I walk into that classroom and I hand the paper to who?
Now, that's the first intelligent thing you've said all day.
That's just great. Because I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's exactly what you need to do.
Give the paper to who?
Naturally.
Now, who's got it?
Naturally.
Who has the paper?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
Naturally?
Yes.
Okay, we're getting somewhere here. Finally, I walk into the classroom, I hand the paper to Naturally.
No, you don't.
Then I give it to who?
Naturally.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you're not saying it that way.
I said I type the paper, I give it to Naturally.
No, you don't. You walk in the class, you give the paper to who?
Naturally.
Yes.
That's
say
what
that.
I'm saying. I give the paper to who?
Naturally.
Ask me.
All right, you walk in the class, you give the paper to who?
Naturally.
Yes.
Same as you! Same as you! Exactly the same! I walk in the classroom, I give the paper, and who gets it?
Naturally.
Who has it?
Naturally.
He better have it. Because I got to memorize verses for what's in personal evangelism, and then go over and see why in the dean's office, because that I was talking in Greek. And if I get demerits, I'm going to lose my job in the kitchen by tomorrow, meaning that I'll end up on the blue crew by the end of today. And you know what else? I could care less.
What was that?
I said I could care less.
Oh, now he's the executive vice president.
I bet he is.
Freshmen, we are here to help you. We can answer your questions, okay? Dr. R, come and give us some announcements to clear up this mess, okay?
I'm not sure that's possible. Okay, here.